I'll send you my Amazon link in a minute. So it's good for everybody to be here. We're very happy to have you guys here. This is the first open webinar we've had, and the second webinar in the series that we're running. Usually we put our webinars are for our coaching clients, but we decided that this was, with Q4 approaching, this is a good time to really discuss leads lists, and we decided to open up for everybody. So welcome to everybody. There's my beautiful wifey saying hi to everybody. I'm not sure what that means, Sherman.
Crimple Cat needs its coast. I think that band is playing at Lollapalooza next year. Crimple Cat. All right, Zuby, you call when we're gonna.
All right. Well, let's see. We're still missing a few people that had signed up, but that's okay. We're gonna give it another 30 seconds, and then we'll jump on and start the presentation, and we'll let the stragglers get through the watch the beginning via the recording. So just a little bit of a house I guess rules type of thing, but we're gonna do a very quick presentation. I know it's late for a lot of people, so I don't want to spend too much time just sort of going on a monologue or boring people too much. But the crux of this presentation and the part that I think is going to give the most value for everybody that's on here is going to be towards the end, when we're going to manually go through, and I'll show you exactly how to do what we are saying or what we are trying to teach in this webinar. All the different rabbit trails. We're going to go through a few of the leads that we have had in the past, and we'll walk you through each one by one, and I'll show you sort of the process of how to actually put to work what we're going to be talking about in the next 10 to 20 minutes. So hopefully you guys can get a lot of high-level information from that, and that will help you with your sourcing for Q4 and beyond. And with that, I think I'm going to turn it over to Leland to tell you guys who we are.
Yeah, thanks, Zuby. And if you're new to us, welcome. You probably saw us joking around with some of the regulars like Sherman and Teresa, and of course Vida. But if you don't know who we are, tonight you've stumbled into the free webinar, our first complimentary webinar, as he said, and we're going to be broadcasting this next week on our YouTube channel and then through the podcasts. So you can go back to refer it, or if you want to see it, you can see it there. Who we are, like I said, Sherman already knows us, Teresa already knows us, but the good-looking gentleman over there, that's Zuby. He's my business partner. He's president of this whole thing, and he's an amazing seller. He's been my Amazon coach from the beginning. I'm very fortunate to have him help me early on. We're both Amazon coaches. We're both co-hosts on FBA Profits, which I mentioned is on YouTube and your favorite platform for podcasts. Zuby, both Zuby and I are entrepreneurs, and he's got a finance background, so he's the really smart guy. I'm just an operations guy. So in our brands, if you don't know us, there's really two things that are happening right now for us. One of them is ProAsins. You can check out that webpage. It's proasins.com. This is not an infomercial. We're not selling anything. We're giving away the information for free. That is a leads list. It's available. Most of them are closed. So this is, again, it's not a commercial. Also offers prep and pack services. And then there's FBA Profits, which I've already beaten into the ground, that we're on YouTube and podcasts. But we also have a coaching platform, accepting clients. And then also we're starting a buying program. So go to that website. It's FBAprofits.us. You can read about it there. You can sign up. You can reach out to us that way.
That buying program has really gotten some traction. I've every client we've talked to has been very excited about it. So
I was afraid to mention it because it is a little bit of wildfire, which is good.
yes.
But that's just background. So to set the stage, we're going to be talking about online arbitrage leads lists. And so I'm going to be talking to you about the standard, what everybody else is doing when they have their leads lists, and what the minimum is, what you should be looking for, the basics to expect when you have a leads list. And then we'll start talking about the value add, right? Why you guys are here, some best practices. And then right after that, Zuby will walk you through the nuts and bolts of it, which will be the whole the crux of this whole thing.
Yes, and the nuts and bolts is one thing, but like I said earlier, it's going to be that walkthrough, sort of live walkthrough through a few of the leads. That's really going to be the pure gold of this presentation, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. So before we do that, quick review. If you're not familiar with leads lists or you just need a refresher, there's certain nomenclature, there's certain things that we're going to be talking about. Of course, every leads list should have a reference to the Amazon unique identifier, the ASIN. It should be hyperlinked. You should be able to click it, and that's going to open up the product page. It should tell you who the source is and have the ability to click on that and be able to go to the product page of what you're buying from the source, the cost of it from the source. There should be other numbers like what the buy box number is at that given moment when the leads list is created, and then the bestseller rank. And some of those bestseller ranks are used to call the nut, right? They might go with top 1% of a certain category, or maybe they go with a whole number, the top 50,000, 100,000, just a metric. And then of course, two other metrics that are important to all of us: what's the expected ROI and what's the net profit? And those are squiffy on leads lists, because remember, that's not everything's cooked into there. Your shipping costs aren't going to be cooked into there. Or if any of the numbers change based on the leads list, buy boxes change all the time, those numbers aren't really, they're not set in stone.
And these are just some of the main ones that you're looking for. The different leads have different information that they give. Some give 90-day BSR, some give current BSR, and then some actually give you what any discounts or coupons that might be available out there, codes on them. So it's each list is a little bit different, but this information is the bare minimum that's going to be in any leads list that's worth its value.
Yeah, this is the core, bare minimum. So the standard, what everybody else is doing, right? So I'm assuming most people are already subscribing to some leads lists, and you have a routine. It's going to be centered around either when the list is made available to you, or perhaps your buying routine. It might be once a day, it might be once a week. But when you get that list, however it's delivered, you're going to go through it line by line. You're going to be clicking on the source to make sure, is it still available? What's the price? You're going to be clicking on the ASIN and looking at the Amazon to make sure the buy box is still strong. You're doing that with everybody else who probably received that list relatively at the same time. Hopefully your list is capped, and hopefully that listing is unique to that list, but most times it isn't. You're going to make a decision. You're going to look at it. You're going to weigh it. If you decide not to buy that product, typically it's discarded. You're probably not going to look at that piece of data ever again. If you are buying it, then becomes the routine of you going through your buying process, getting it from the source, bringing it in, sending it to the prep and pack, whatever it is you're doing. Now that product is in the process of being sent and shipped to Amazon. And then you got to tend with selling it, how it's going to price, all of that stuff. And most times we're not thinking about replenishment strategies. Is this something that could be used again? Most times it goes in, you're going to deal with it. Maybe it becomes a headache, maybe it becomes a winner, but then you go back to the top of this process again, back to the leads list, looking for that arbitrage opportunity, and keep going. I mean, it's good fun. Why wouldn't you do that? For your list, there's some minimums that you should expect, right? First is that whatever you're paying for that leads list, you should be getting a return much greater than what you're paying. And not a fact, this should be a multiple. It should be 5, 10, whatever X it is, it should be much greater than what you're putting into it. Any leads list worth its salt should be giving you greater returns. It should not be wagging you. The amount of sources within the lists over time should be varied and a lot. You're trying to broaden your horizon and have your store have a lot more product in it, varied product, not just the same thing, not just the same store. You also don't want it to come from a third-party marketplace or seller, from a Walmart or a Kmart. Otherwise, you're going to get into some headaches there. And then you're going to want the listings to be, I've put unique and novel, but you want them to be fresh. You don't want to see a lot of repeats. You don't want the kind of listings that that you saw recently.
Yeah, and also on a couple of things on the third-party marketplace sellers, it's okay to buy from third-party marketplaces. In fact, a lot of the arbitrage happens from third-party marketplaces, but you want to try to stay away from the third-party sellers. So if you go to Walmart and Walmart is not the seller on Walmart.com for that product, generally you want to try to stay away from that, because and the main factor behind that is authenticity. It's really hard to go back and try to prove that you didn't get an inauthentic, a fake product, a counterfeit item. If you purchase it from a third-party reseller, send it into Amazon, you sell it, and then whoever purchases it files an authentic claim against you. Mm-hmm. So if you bought it from Walmart, you know that it's authentic. But if you bought it from XYZ from Shenzhen, there's no way for you to know. And a lot of times, I mean, I've personally ran into this where I've purchased products from third-party sellers on a marketplace because the ROI was just ridiculous. I've sold a lot of them, and then a few of them had been, I got inauthentic complaints on them, and so I had to pull everything back out and not purchase from that seller anymore. And then on the unique ones, as Leland said, it's important that you get new leads on a regular basis. But sometimes you can get some lists do put leads that they had 6 months ago or 9 months ago or 12 months ago back on their list, because it something has changed, the source has changed, maybe price has changed, it's on a sale. And enough time has passed by to where it could warrant it. But in general, you don't want to get a leads list where they are recycling the same leads over and over again, or which is something that hopefully doesn't happen that much, but it's more apt to happen. There are those services that have multiple lists, and what they do, you don't want them to take leads from one list and a month later put it into another list, or a week later put it into another list and another list, and they sort of redistribute the same leads amongst multiple different lists. There are a lot of people that do subscribe to multiple lists, so hopefully most leads list providers don't do that, but it's important for you to keep an eye on that as well. So let's talk about how do we set ourselves apart from what everybody else does. How do we take the blindfold off and stop following the person in front of us, and start actually doing things that's going to set us apart and put us on a path that we are not going to have to worry about that race to the bottom that happens so often with leads. Because everybody that has ever used leads list knows that when you purchase something, you're hoping you get it in there before most other people. But at some point, you're going to get an influx of new sellers. 15 to 50 different sellers are going to jump in on it. Most of them are not going to be willing to wait too long. And so they start lowering their price by a penny each time, every 15 minutes or every 5 minutes. And before you know it, you are now at a negative. That price has tanked considerably. So how do you set yourself apart from that so that you don't have to deal with that? We're going to talk about 3 different strategies today, and these are, if you like the names we've given each one, I picked them. If you don't, it was Leland's idea.
Okay, I see how it's going to be. All right.
Gold and old. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, but we'll go into it a little bit more. Rabbit trails, which is sort of my favorite thing to do, and then say no to no. And we'll get into that in more detail in just a minute. So gold and old, what does that mean? Well, you get a, if you've been a subscriber to a leads list for any amount of time, you know that you get their leads list, you go through it, and then you pick, you go yes, no, yes, yes, no, 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 and then you move on. Hopefully you have a replenishable strategy, but you never, most sellers, most leads list subscribers, they don't go back to a leads list from last week or last month or 3 months ago. But there's real gold in those old lists, especially ones that had really good products in them. Maybe you purchased them and then the race to the bottom happened. Well, that, when you got jaded on that product because 15 other sellers jumped on it, well, those 15 other sellers also got jaded on it, and they didn't put it in their replenishable strategy. And what happens is when everybody runs out of their stock, that lead, that item, that ASIN becomes profitable again. But nobody is now going back to it because everybody lost money, or it turned into a long tail inventory for them, and it just wasn't what they expected. So nobody goes back to them. It's important to have a strategy where when you're going through and looking through each lead on a list, if you see on a Keepa chart, you're looking at let's say a 1-year Keepa chart, and you see there are certain months that it is selling really well at a pretty high price, and then it drops down as the offer count goes up. Well, now you know that there are specific months that you could potentially purchase this product. Create another spreadsheet, maybe set a calendar alert on that, or have your VA or yourself go through it every month or every couple of weeks and go back to those lists, to those leads, and see if did those 15 sellers that jumped on because this was on a leads list jump off? Did they come back on? Has the offer count gone down? Has the price gone up? It's important to go back to your old leads and have a strategy as you're going through the current leads to take the ones that are potentially profitable and put them on a different spreadsheet so that you can go back to them and possibly find ones when they're not on a leads list. When months have gone by, nobody else is looking at them because it's no longer on a current leads list, and you can then purchase those profitably and resell them for a good ROI. Rabbit trails. This is my favorite because it's the easiest way to really set yourself apart from all the other sellers. I'll show you guys exactly what I mean by this in a few minutes. But what you need to do, or what you do, is you find a profitable product from a source, and yeah, you can purchase it, and so will a lot of other sellers because they're researching the exact same list that you're researching. They'll purchase it, and then you're going to have competition that's just going to continuously increase as more and more sellers jump on there. But you can also then, on that source's website, you can go, if it's a sale item, you can go look at the other sale items. If it's a specific manufacturer, you can go see what other items they're selling, and then double check on Amazon to see if those other items are selling and if they're selling profitably. Most other sellers that are getting that leads list aren't going to be doing that. They're not going to be going down these rabbit trails. They're not going to go down the same brand and see what other flavors they're selling, or see what other colors, what other sizes, what other variations, to see if there's any bundles of that one item out there. All of those things, it doesn't, once you get in the hang of it, it doesn't take that long to really go through that. It's just, maybe if you set aside an hour, you guaranteed you'll find plenty of new items that are not on any leads lists, that will not have the 15 to 50 different sellers jump on them, and that are selling very profitably for you. And you found them through the lead that was in the leads list. So this is an amazing strategy that, and we'll go through, and I'll show you guys exactly how I do it, and hopefully you'll be able to benefit from it as well. And then finally, a lot of leads lists, when you get the list, if you don't go through it right away, chances are that the source is going to run out of inventory, especially if it's one of the smaller e-tailers, smaller websites, and they don't have tens of thousands of units. so that 50 people or 30 people get that leads list, and they start buying 20 to 100 of them each. That source is going to run out of the item very quickly. So if you wait until the weekend to go to your leads list and go through everything, you're gonna jump on that source, and you see that it's out of stock, and you're just going to move on. A lot of sellers do that. They don't even check to see if that lead would have been profitable if it was sort of an amazing lead or if it was just an okay lead. They see out of stock and they just move on. It's not. You can set yourself apart by not letting out of stock discourage you from checking to see if that's a really good lead, and if it is, then finding a source for it. The easiest way is a lot of the websites will have an alert function. If they're out of stock, you can put your email on there, and they will email you whenever that item is back in stock. Definitely take full advantage of that. You can also do a Google search of that product to see if any other sources have them. If Walmart is out of it, maybe Target has it, maybe Kmart has it. It definitely helps. And then when you do that, then it can also lead to the rabbit trails of that new source, because you can go down there and find, not only find that product, but you might find a variation of it that wasn't in the original source. And then finally, you can add, if it's a really good product, you can add that to your to that spreadsheet that you created to follow up on in a week or a month, and just double check that source if they don't have a way for them to alert you when it's back in stock. So it's definitely, don't let out of stock dissuade you from that one lead. If it's a good lead, research it. If it's a good lead, if Keepa's history shows you that it sells really well most of the year, then create a strategy to follow up on that lead. All right, so that's it. Those are the three main items, the three main strategies that we're going to talk about. But as you know, right now we're going to go through and I'm going to show you guys how each one of them is not each one of them, but a bunch of them are going to work together. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. Right before we go through all this, I will answer them. I don't see any questions other than Sherman talking about how good I look. Hey, thanks, Sherman. Appreciate it. You're giving Wida the credit, huh? All right, so let's do this. This is, I just chose 4 different products here from previous leads lists that we have published. And I chose them just because, I mean, we can pull up today's leads list and I can walk you through it blind, but these 4 sort of fit what we're trying to share with you today. So, and because I don't want everybody to be here for an hour or 2 hours, you know, I chose these to sort of make sure that the examples that we're trying to give you make sense to everybody. So the first one, like Leland said, you know, we have the ASIN, the source link, product name, and then all the financial data, the buy box, the 30-day average, etc. These numbers change on a minute-by-minute basis. The buy box could change. The source buy cost could change if it's a sale and the sale goes out. But let's start with this Alta product. So if we go to the source, we can see a couple of things. First of all, we see that this product is on sale. It's $23.40. Normally it's $39. Amazon price, it was, when we published it, it was $45.63. Today it's $44.48. I love using Inventory Lab, so I'm going to use that. A lot of people use different, you know, I've turned off my my on Amazon whatever they're called.
Add-on.
Yes, so that it's easier for you guys to see it. But let's just you know, this product currently, if we were to buy it right now, it's selling for $23.40. And you can buy it for $22.40 and sell it for $44.48, which means that we can get, if there's no prep fees or anything else, net profit $34. 34 profit per buy. Great. That's on the leads list. You can go ahead and buy that. This is from an old list and it's still selling well. So this is actually But let's we can.
Wishing you didn't put it on the list today, didn't you?
Let's see. Let's use some of our strategies here. So we know that Ulta has a sale. If you just scroll down, you'll see that we're going to get a bunch of other recommended products that Ulta is going to have us look at. Well, an easier way is just to go to their sales page. Right? They have a sales page, and this is everything that's on sale for them. Now, this was the James Charles palette. The James Charles palette. That's this one. So we're not going to do that one. This one looks similar, or maybe that was that one. This go. Yeah, this was the one.
Same one.
So let's look at this one. The Morph X James Charles, the mini palette. So that was the main palette. This is the mini palette. It's on sale for $15.60. First thing you always want to do is try to see if the UPC is on here. I know from experience that Ulta doesn't give us the UPCs, so we just copy the title and go to Inventory Lab and paste it. And that should give us a bunch of different options. Let's see if this is the one. We go to Amazon's page. And 2452468. 2452468. This is the one. Another way to confirm is sometimes Amazon will have the item number on here. They don't have it on here. Anyways, this is the product. I'm fairly certain of it. So we copy the ASIN. Oh, the ASIN's already on there. So we look $15.60 is what we buy it for. It sells for $29.46. That's a 28%, 29% ROI. That's $4.50 net profit margin or net profit dollars. That's a decent buy. And look at this. Right now, it's actually at the lowest it's been in a long time. It usually sells in the 40s, 50s, all the way up to the 70s and almost $80. So this is a product I would jump all over. This is not on the leads list, right? So you're not going to get. It has 27 sellers, so people have found it, but you're not going to get the competition of a leads list from this one. Mm-hmm. Just within 2 minutes, we just found one that can have a very good amount of return and profits for us. Let's keep going. Right? Let's go back to the sales page and let's look at whatever this is, KKW Beauty. Oh, that went away. Why did it go away? Maybe I'm going too fast.
And while you're doing that, that's just one of the examples of the rabbit trail, right? We start with the Ulta item that was on the leads list, and then you went looking through the other items that were on sale, almost randomly picked one of the other items on sale and just did that research. So
yes.
We're repeating that one more time here.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So this time I want to try to copy the name of the brand as well. This is an amazing sale. It used to be $32. It's now at $8. So let's see if we can find it. Okay, beauty, contour, and highlight set. Light, medium, medium. What is this one? This is dark. Medium, medium. Nope. Contour and highlight set dark, but there's no rank on that. So, nope, I don't easily see it. So we're just going to move on because now what we can do is see if this site has any other ones. Nope, they don't. So move on. Here's a. Well, let's go down and see this one. What is that? Hair growth supplements. For what?
Waiting. Waiting for the joke. Waiting.
No, you told me not to make that joke.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I'm not making it. Make it.
There it is. There's no rank for it, and Amazon's on it, so we'll stop. But anyways, that's the process you go through, right? You can spend 20 minutes, half an hour going through this sales list, this list of items on sale, and you can easily find, 3, 5, 10 different products that are good, profitable leads or profitable items that you can purchase that's not on a leads list. Let's go to our target example. Let me get rid of this stuff. Wyman stainless steel wipes, 30 count at Target. This was, I think, from a July leads list. I checked it today. It was still at $359. You can get a $15 Target gift card if you purchase $50 worth of this, or of household essentials category, and it is selling for $13.61. So first, let's see if this is a good lead still. So $359. We should also put tax in there. That's a really good price. Let's see what tax times 1.0775. With tax, it becomes $387. So it's still a 100% ROI. Really good product, right? And you can purchase it if you buy enough. You can also get $15 back. You also can get about 1% back cash back from Rakuten. Good product. But what else can we? How can we go down the rabbit trail? Well, one way is to come down here and see what other products are here, click on them, and go see if these things are selling on Amazon. Another way, we did that with Ulta. Another way is to copy this exact title and put it on Amazon, or put it on Inventory Lab to see what is selling with that title on there. So here's one. This is the one that that's on the leads list. Here's a 2-pack at $2,200, $14.20. That's not going to be profitable, most likely. So, but let's say $8. Yeah, that's not going to be profitable. So we go back. Here's a bundle. Bundle, and how much? We just saw that one. Yep, $379. So $379 and $359. $379 plus $359 is $738. So at $738, it's profitable. Let's see how it sells on Amazon. Yep. All right. So it's profitable, but it's not the best item. It used to sell when it's at $26, $27. It's a great buy, right? But we were able to find a bundle, and we see that it's selling at $18 back in February. It was selling at almost $28 or $24 back in September, October, November of last year. We're almost to that time, and if you look at the history of it, it seems like right around that time it does increase. So this might be a good item for a Q4 test run or test buy. But I would definitely put this on my spreadsheet to follow up on and see when some of these sellers get out. Right now we have a few sellers, but inventory is low. There's 1, 3, 4, 2, 2, 1. Inventory is really low, so this could be a very good selling product for us, and we might want to test it out. Inventory is low, it sells well. BSR is at 91,000 right now. That's not a bad BSR, so this could be an excellent product. We can also, since it was selling well, we can, where am I going? Right here. We can take this Actually, we'll come back to that. So let's go to office supply. We'll use the research example from there. Leland, I'm not looking at the chat, so if anybody asks a question, please let me know.
Absolutely.
Oh, Donna can ask. Oh, Donald, hey, yes, it is. No, it's not Thursday. Is it Thursday? It's Thursday in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I answered the question. I'm happy. All right. So office supply has ball wide mouth drinking mugs, 4-pack for $17.85. This was on a leads list. And let's see if it's still profitable. So it's definitely profitable. $17.85, selling at $37.99, 44%, $8. It's a good product. All right, now let's say that we come here and this was office supply was out of stock on it. Instead of just giving up on it, we see that this is a very good, you can make about $8, 44% ROI on it, and it is selling consistently at that price, at the $37.99 price. So it's a good product. Let's see if we can find it anywhere else. I'll just go to Google, paste the title, and we've got office supply. This is where we're searching right now. That was on the leads list. $19.99 at a cherry on top with no tax. Target has, these are 16 ounces. It's not the same one. This is 24 ounce. So you do a Google search for it and see if you can find it anywhere else for similar pricing, or maybe even cheaper price. And then if you do, you go down that trail. So I have never heard of or shopped at a cherry on top crafts. I don't know what this is, but it's a new site. So Leland's going to make a note right now.
Oh yeah, I'm making it as we speak. Yeah.
We're going to add this to our to a website that we're going to scrape to see if there's any profitable products here. But there's, I'm looking here. They have a 10% off code. They have a place for current promos. We can go and look to see what else they have, and then just sort of, spend some time going through these items to see if maybe they're selling on Amazon. So Mason ball jar wire handles. Is there a? There's UPC right there. Excellent. Yeah. UPC. That's actually good news for us, Leland.
We like UPCs.
We like UPCs. And there they are, 3.9 million, 182,000. We like that better. Let's see how this sells. Does it sell well? No. Amazon was in stock and people were selling below that. So no, this wasn't a good idea. But this is a whole new source that we just found, and if we have the time or if we have the VA manpower to have them spend an hour or a couple of hours on this website, just going through some, cherry picking certain, no pun intended, certain items and seeing if there's any profitable products on there. A cherry on top crafts is not on any leads list that I know. We just found it through a Google search. If you find products from here, you're not going to be competing with 15 other sellers. You're not going to be competing with other leads list subscribers. Yeah, it's a little bit more work, but if you put that little bit of more work into it and you find a source that's really good, it can have huge benefits for you. I can tell you right now that I've had, when we first started in this business and we first started switching from retail arbitrage to online arbitrage, and I started paying for leads list, the reason why I fell in love with them was I found one, it was a coffee site, and it was one bag of coffee that was on the leads list that was selling very well. And then I purchased a bunch, sent it in. It sold very quickly at a very high profit. So I went back to buy more, and then I said, wait, there's this flavor. Is that still on Amazon? There's this flavor. There's this size. There's this other. and 80% of them were selling amazingly on Amazon. I made thousands of dollars in profit just because I took the time to go through that website and find other flavors and other things. And I've done that with so many websites since then. It's a key to really having a successful online arbitrage Amazon business, is to take that time and go find things that are not on these lists, that are not easily accessible. We know that Walmart, Target, Kohl's, those main retailers are on every single software that's out there that's scraping the internet for profitable flips or profitable arbitrage opportunities. You want to try to find those smaller retailers, those ones that are, branded retailers, that they only sell their own products, but it's not, they're not gated on Amazon, and they're not the ones, or Amazon is not the one selling on them. They are there. I can guarantee you, there's a lot of smaller brands that are selling on their website that are selling very well on Amazon at a higher price. That if you take the time to find them, you will not be sorry.
Well, I think it goes back to even what we talked about in the first webinar, which is there's a process that you can follow, which everybody else is doing, and you can reach a certain level of success and possibly be fulfilled in what you're doing. But these are other ways to add more sustainable products to your store, to your storefront, and it's a way for you to differentiate from everybody else, much like the gross profit strategy. Rather than go for pure arbitrage, you're kind of leveraging the arbitrage experience into something else. So it's one more step that takes time, but at least it differentiates you from the rest of the herd that is buying and then shipping all this stuff in. And the true definition of an arbitrage is it's going to go away just as quickly as it came. So if you can find a way to sustain it a little bit more from a list you're already buying, and it's already making you profits anyway, you're just getting that much further ahead than others.
Yes, and it's, your goal is to try to set yourself apart from everybody else. Your goal is to try to not necessarily buy what everybody else is buying, but find those products that others have not found yet, or very few people have found yet. You're here on OfficeSupply.com's website. You found one, you're adding it, but let's say that instead of $45 free shipping, they have a $450 free shipping. Well, you need to try to find some more products to get that free shipping. Here's a bunch of different suggestions for you that Office Depot's algorithm thinks should go well with this. You can click on one and see if this is then selling on Amazon, and if it is, you can potentially purchase it. There's no UPC here, so you can purchase it and to meet that minimum shipping requirement, or even if there's no shipping, you can add it to your inventory. That looks like the right one. Amazon is the seller, so we're not liking that one. So anyways, that is that. And then finally, this is one where I like clothing, but it's a very finicky category. You can make good money off of it, but you can also get stuck with a lot of it, because in order to really get the full crux of it, you need to be able to have different sizes, different colors, this is toddlers, yeah, so it's 2T, 4T, 6T. There's all these different sizes, so you can't necessarily go 20 deep or 50 deep on one item. You have to go wide on this, and you buy a few of them, it sells, you go back and buy a few more. But what I want to show on this one, I don't know if I can find one that really fits in, and I don't want to take, we've already been 46 minutes. I don't want to take too much time on here for this, but so this item is, when we listed it, it was $7.20. Today it's $6 on clearance. It's a 2T multicolor, so I'm assuming this should still be a very good lead. Oh yeah, FBA. Okay, that's a good lead. 188% ROI. Oh no, sorry. Just 2T and 4T. So we'll have to do a little more research to make sure it's the same one. I'm assuming it's the same one. But what I want to get at is there's a clearance here. So go find the clearance aisle or aisle section. Or here's the suggestions that Belk has for you on other clearance items. And you can then copy this into your inventory lab or Amazon page and see if you can find the exact same one. But the main point of going here, when you go to the Amazon page for this product, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 16, 17 different colors, combination of colors for these 2-packs, right? And we've got, I don't know how many different possible ages and sizes. So it's an exponential number, right? You can find a lot of different products here, but that doesn't mean that you can find whatever these two are, stripe and red, here on Carter's. But you might be able to find stripe as a one and then red as another one and create the bundle yourself. Most sellers wouldn't do that. Most sellers wouldn't take the time to go and say, hey, Belk has a really good sale. From $20, it's on clearance for $5. It's selling on Amazon as bundles. Let me go see which ones they have on sale that's available, and then see if that bundle or if that 2-pack or is actually selling on Amazon and selling well on Amazon. And if it is, clear it out. Buy everything that Belk has on clearance. You're not going to get that price again because it's clearance. They're getting rid of those items. But most sellers aren't going to take the time to go and say, all right, here's a pink and here is a whatever color this is, navy. One's $5, one's $3. Well, are there? There's navy and black. There's red and navy. Red and navy, is that what we're just looking at? So that might be it, right? Or pink and navy. Poppy and navy. Pink and navy, there it is. Okay, pink and navy, and this is 2T. And they have 2T on this as well. So we can buy it for $8 and sell it for, 2T. Sell it for $12.60. All right, so maybe this isn't, this will not get us the right, 4T is available, and then where's navy? Navy only has 2T. All right, so that is not going to get us the right return right off the bat, but it was selling at $24 back in last year in November, December. So it might be, and it's on clearance, so no, they're not selling it anymore. So it might be a good item to purchase. The point is, these are the strategies you have to take. These are the steps you have to take. Find, put yourself apart from everybody else by doing that little extra legwork, by finding, hey, most people are going to look at this and say, I need to find this exact 2. And Carter's has some of, or Belk has some of those 2-packs, or those bundles, but you can also create them. So it's important to take that time to set yourself apart. Don't just look at a leads list by what's on the list and then just that's it. If it doesn't fit, or if it's not profitable, or if the BSR has changed, move on to the next one. Take the time to actually go through these 3 separate strategies we talked about. Combine the strategies together. There's, follow those rabbit trails, follow those, think outside the box, find ways to set yourself apart from everybody else so that you can literally find gold and find amazingly profitable products that nobody else is even thinking about.
Yeah, and you got to see it live, right? We got to see you walk through all of those and hit some dead ends, hit some that won. Clearly, the other strategy of gold and old is one of a little bit of housekeeping, right? Setting some of these aside and then coming back. But it does beg the question, how much time are you spending and how much are you relying on just the data that comes out of the leads list? There, we put gold and old, there's gold in these too, and that you can use the data later, or you can go down your rabbit trails also. And sometimes you spent maybe 30 minutes on the 4 examples. How much time are you spending on your leads list? Is it enough? Are you siphoning off some of the data to use later? These are all things to set yourself apart from everybody else.
And in that 30 minutes, we found maybe 3 or 4 different products that could eventually get us thousands of dollars in profit. Yeah. And definitely hundreds of dollars.
And it's one session. By the way, none of it's canned. I mean, we didn't know where these dead ends were going to be. We kind of knew some of them were going to be what we needed to show, but not the rabbit trails. That was, you guys got the live and in-person Zuby rabbit trail off a leads list.
Not only that, but this is actually a good example of gold and old, right? Because these are old leads lists. These are old leads in our past lists that we have published. Yep. Most of them are at least a month, if not longer, if not older.
Right.
So it's just, you can see that they're still profitable. The sales are still going on, and those rabbit trails are still live and active, even though these are a month old or a month and a half old.
Right. So if there's any questions, fire them off in chat. Otherwise, I think we're at 53 minutes.
Hey, Leland, I have a question.
What's that?
Donald asked if it was Thursday, and you responded to David. What's up with that? I love finding things to correct you on.
Donald asked, "Is it Thursday?" And I wrote, "It's David." Well, clearly I'm not reading the names in chat. Sorry about that, Donald. Thanks, Zuby, for pointing that out. I appreciate it.
The good news is Donald doesn't go by Donald either. Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate you guys joining. We're just under the 1 hour mark. That's sort of the crux of what we wanted to talk about. If you guys have any questions or if anything comes up in the future, you have our contact information. However you received this should have had information on how to reach us. Definitely, feel free to reach out to us. One of our driving force behind what we do is to try to help people, especially those people who don't have the time necessarily to do this, but want to create that additional source of revenue and source of income for themselves. We're here. If you need any help, let us know.
Yeah, and if there's anything that you guys want us to cover in future webinars, we already have our next one slated. We know what we're covering, but beyond that, if there's topics you want us to reach out, let us know. Happy to include that in webinars or future podcasts.
I just saw his name, so I want to send a shout out to Vincent, our youngest client. I love that you put Lourdes and Vincent on there. You guys are awesome. Vincent is going to be he's a protege. We have plans for Vincent. He's 12 years old and already picking up the Amazon business amazingly. He's doing great. So shout out to Vincent, and we'll be back with him at some time in the future.
All right. Well, it doesn't look like there's any questions, so guess we will sign off and say good night, good morning to Donald, right? Not David, Donald. I remember that for a while.
Thank you, Donald. Or Ken. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Lourdes. Thank you, honey.
Aww.
My wife is on our call. I like that.
I know, right? There you go.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. And we will be back probably in a month or so with our next webinar is going to be specifically about Q4 preparation. And it will be for our coaching clients. So if you're interested, join our coaching platform for these webinars. And with that, sayonara and good night.